Alright guys, in this one we are going to do a full-on fish room tour. I know that I said a few weeks ago I'd do a part 2 after that part 1. I just didn't get round to it, and there was loads of stuff going on, and I had other videos planned like the fish shop tours. We're just going to revisit the fish room because it's a while since we've done it. We'll do all the tanks. In this video we are going to get new fish, and I'm going to show you a big change that's happening within the fish room, so let's get right into it. We will start the tour at this tank. This is my community tank, and you've seen this many times before. The only difference with this tank at the moment is the Alodia denser. It's all been uprooted, and I think what happens is, I think that these hoplo catfish, I think what they do is when the food gets in amongst the lead piece, I think they go in burrowing in it, and then it's basically all coming out, uprooting. There is some ormwort in there as well. So yeah, I'm just leaving it. I'm leaving it at the top. This tank is, it's got my Laticara araguaia in there. It's got my big pair of marbled angelfish, the 2 oplo catfish, and it's got a pair of checkerboard cichlids, which are there, and they're growing really well actually, doing really well. And then there's a big shoal of black neon tetras. What you'll also see in there right now as well is you will see the angelfish, the young angelfish. These are the young to this pair, and they're growing out really well. I've got 6 in here, so I just thought, you know what, we'll just put them in here, grow them out some more, and then decide what we do with them. I won't be keeping them, I will sell them eventually. But it's just been nice breeding angelfish again. I absolutely love it. I've said it before, it's my favourite thing. If I could just breed one fish and one fish only, it probably would be angelfish. But yeah, how nice are the parents? That's Dad. Dad is an absolute stunner, and there is Mum. She is beautiful as well. This group of Laticara araguaia, I'm on down to 6. I did lose 2, and I wouldn't have a clue. I don't know why I even lost 2, but I lost 1, and then a few days later I lost another. So I kept an eye on the tank, and there was no problems. No other fish seemed to have any problems, so I don't know whether these have killed them, I don't know. But yeah, we're down to 6 of them, and they're great as well. It's a great tank, this. I love this tank. These little angelfish, they're starting to get, that one there, if he goes, turn round. Yeah, you can see the black coming out in it now, so they're starting to get their little bits of extra colour, like Dad. Now, what I will say about breeding angelfish, and this is just my opinion, and I hope people agree with it, but you know, it's everyone to their own. Obviously, when you're breeding angelfish, you have to keep an eye on deformities, and especially like dorsal fins and stuff like that. You see a lot of angelfish in the hobby with bent dorsal fins, and that's a deformity, and they should be culled really. That's a debate that would cause absolute mayhem, and it's not a debate for now, but if you're going to breed angelfish, you need to be culling the ones with deformities if you want to get the right quality. But yeah, they're all okay, and yeah, that's Mum and Dad, as I keep saying. There's those checkerboard cichlids. They're great. They just follow each other everywhere. And yeah, I love this tank, so we will move on to another tank now. This tank is obviously a tank that you would have seen in the last video. A little bit of it. It's had the new Altifron in, which is there, doing great. And yeah, I've just done a water change on this tank and Trigger's tank, which we'll go to next. So yeah, they've just been, I do my water changes probably every 2 weeks, one and a half to 2 weeks where I can. That Bolzina is absolutely stunning. Yeah, I love this tank. So they've got a little bit pale due to the water. I mean, that one there is not too bad, but they do go a little bit pale after water change, and sometimes they're not too bad. You know, they don't go and hide or anything. But look at that. How nice is that? Stunning. Honestly, these albino heckelite are something else. These are an amazing fish, and I wanted to keep these for a long time, and God, am I happy that I keep these now, honestly. Amazing. Anyway, obviously we featured this little bit in the last video, so let's go down and see Trigger. Look at that. Here he is, Trigger. Still as mad as ever. He is a stunning Trimax cichlid, and he's kind of the odd one out in my fish room now, because we are down to him as the only big Central American cichlid that's left in my collection. We have moved most of them on. Well, we've moved all of them but him on, and I lost a lot of them in the wipeout. But yeah, he is the lone big Central American cichlid that's left in my fish room. The only other Central American cichlids we will have is the convicts and the salvini. So yeah, he is obviously was always my ultimate fish, my ultimate wet pet. There's a couple of times I've considered selling him. There's a couple of times I've put him up for sale, but every time I basically pull out. I think the reasoning behind it is because I want to do different things in the fish room, but there's a lot of things to consider when selling a fish like this. Anyway, he's still here, and he's made another fish room tour, and as ever, he is beautiful. Look at that colour. You know, this is the one striking thing with a Trimac is the colour, and obviously, you know, the personality, the aggression, and he's just absolutely mental. I can't even put my hand in this tank without him trying to rip it apart. Honestly, he's lethal now, and he's probably, I would say, probably about 1 foot in length. And you know, big commiseration sent to my fish garage, Gray. He lost his. So Trigger, there was a few that came from a pair of Max cichlids, wild caught ones, and I had one that we know of. Obviously, my fish garage has just lost his in a house move, and that's really sad. And I know another guy on here that had one, and he lost his as well. So they're few and far between, these ones that Max bred. Yeah, and I was really lucky to get hold of one of these. Company called Predator Aquatics brought them over in 2020, and I managed to get hold of one, and this is Trigger. And a lot of you already know that. I've told this story a million times. But yeah, it's really sad that Gray has just lost his, because I know how much he loved that fish. But yeah, we've still got Trigger. Them trails are beautiful. And yeah, anyway guys, we're going to move on to another tank. This is the tank that has the pygmy corridoras in, but they're currently hiding. And if you look closely, there is an infestation of bladder snails. There's absolutely loads of them. Not too fussed at the moment, but I'm sure that's going to get out of hand. If you look at the plants as well, they're starting to regrow really well. And you can see the odd pygmy corridoras. I think I just spooked them as I just approached the tank. But there's some at the back. But yeah, that tank's doing alright. It's down here now. So if you look, it's next to Trigger. So it's down here. And I'll show you at the end of this video why that's now down here and what's going on in the fish room. We also have the beta chinoides. So these are doing really well. I'm really happy with these because we've already had the situation where the male was holding. We think he swallowed them and he didn't go the full term with them. But I have put them in a smaller tank, and obviously this footage you're seeing is B-roll, just of a male and a female. There is a male and 2 females in this tank. These are great little fish, and they're full of attitude, you know. And obviously the name beta chinoides, they're called the snakehead betta. And I've never really kept snakeheads before, but I get the impression that they must have some character. But these things, honestly, sometimes when I come up to the tank, they can really flare at me, which is quite funny. But yeah, we'll see if we get another opportunity. If they do get a situation where they breed again and the male gets, obviously, as is, because what these are basically, these hold the fry in the mouth and then release them when they're ready. So what I have learnt about this species, which is quite an interesting fact, is that the females will eat the babies, but the males don't eat the babies, which is really, really interesting. So I will have to remove the females if I want to grow any of these on. But yeah, doing great as well. I'll show you the corner now before I show you the rest of the tanks. This is the corner that had the double rack of 4-foot fish tanks in. I've actually moved those tanks on, and I'll tell you for why. Because I like having this space here next to the door. So anyone that's ever been in my fish room will know that when you come through that door, there was a tight squeeze between this tank and the tank, the 4 foots that was there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this space, probably put a desk in there or something. But if you look over in this corner, I'm going to be able to put another racking in here, so it'll go basically adjacent to this 6 foot stand, and you can get like, they're called Tufferman racks. Big Doug is the company that sells them here in the UK, and they're just metal stands, and you can get them up to 4 shelves high, so I can stock them up and have 4 shelves with a few fish tanks on. Could probably use 1 shelf for storage, but there's options. But yeah, I'm going to put a shelving unit in that corner, which then will give me all this space free, which is fantastic. This tank is the Central American tank, and things are going to change big time in this tank, guys. So the Nicaraguan cichlids are actually going. They will be gone when this video comes out. Bill's taking them back. Bill's cichlid room, and this male was his for many years, and he gave him to me to try with my female. But I've had no luck at the moment with him. But Bill is a massive Nicaraguan fan, and obviously I think he'd rather keep his male other than anyone else have it. This tank is well and truly overdue a water change. The male Salvini, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might keep him. I quite like him, and he's grown pretty well. He's a great fish. I'm definitely going to keep the pair of convicts. On that rack I was talking about, I can do something on there in a tank, so they'll be staying. I do love these convicts. I just need to see if I can house this, because in this 4x2 tank there's going to be some changes. We are going to go South American cichlid, but you'll have to wait and see what I do with that. But yeah, the Nicaraguan cichlids will be going to Bill. We'll be keeping the convicts, and I'm not too sure on this Salvini yet. This is, I call it the Geophagus brasiliensis tank, and if you look at the brasiliensis, they've got so many nipped fins. Do you remember that white psalm that I had? I put it in here, and I'm sure the white psalm has done these to these. Now, it's only since I put it in, however, it might not be the white psalm, so I took it back out, and hopefully it's not the true parrots. I've not really seen the true parrots being aggressive with them since they've been with them, but you never know, or they could be doing it to each other. So we'll put, I'm just doing a water change on this tank, doing a water change, and then we'll put some salt in here and we'll see how they get on. True parrots, completely different colours and sizes, and the aquadens, and that's the tail of my Weberite pleco. Like I say, I am doing a water change on this tank, so while I'm filming this video, this is the tank that's getting done, but they're all going to be getting done at some point. That big true parrot is lovely. I've got my curtains open and my patio doors, so it's quite a lot of light and stuff on this tank. But yeah, love these. These are a group that I'm really looking forward to see hopefully start pairing off. They are pretty aggressive, and it wouldn't surprise me if they haven't done that to their cells, but we'll just have to keep an eye on them, see how they get on. Anyway, let's move on. We've also got this box that's got some calico bristlenose plecos growing out, so there's a load of young in there. I'm not sure whether you can see them, not picking up, there's no light on this, but there's loads of them in there and they're growing out. If you stayed for this long in the video, this is a little bonus for you. We've got something in here that I've had for a while now and I've just not showed you. These are a West African dwarf cichlid, and they are the Tomasai cichlid, which are the African butterfly cichlid. I said a couple of months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, that I was going to bring some West African cichlids into the fish room. These are the first of those ones that I'm bringing in. These they're not really coloured up as well as they could be. They've not been in this tank long. I did move them. They were in quarantine. I left them in quarantine for quite a while. But yeah, these are a dwarf cichlid but West African, and I've mentioned it that I fancy doing West African in the future. Well, it starts here. I'm hoping to at some point get a bit of a bigger tank going with these and maybe a couple more different types of West African cichlids, but they're great little fish, these. And another big shout out to Spud at Herbs and Aquatics, who sorted me these fish out, and they're absolutely mint. So yeah, upgrades to come on them. Hopefully, like I say, we'll have them in a bit of a community tank. Last but not least, we have my Waru tank, and great shot of the L27 again. Fantastic fish that, you know. Check these bits. Can you see all these bits? And if you look at the top here, you see it all. Do you know what that is? That is this wood. So what happens is the Waru and obviously the Pleco, they strip it. So I watch them sometimes, the Waru, and they're going at it and they're eating all the algae and all the growth on it and stuff like that. But then they strip the wood and it ends up like this. Look at that. So I get quite a lot of comments about how nice this wood is, but it's an absolute nightmare because it makes a right mess of your tank, to be fair. Anyway, the Waru. New guy's doing really well. Look at him there, beautiful. I did spook him yesterday though, and he absolutely shot over the tank, and I was gutted because he hit the side of the tank. But he seems fine. And these two are pretty inseparable. They get on really well. Look, here goes, she's following. Look, see that little nick on its eye there and its back? Bloody nightmare. It was my fault I dropped the lid. So I opened the lid and dropped it. And it spooked. Only that one spooked though. But how nice would it be if they was a pair? That'd be mint, that, wouldn't it? And then these are the little ones. These are growing really well. They're doing good. They're coming on a treat. So that one's obviously got a nick as well. Bloody hell, that must have spooked as well. Honestly, it's one of them open lids, and I dropped it and it made the biggest bang, and I fucking can't believe it. But anyway, they're all fine. I put some salt in and they're doing good. But yeah, this tank is amazing. Look at that for a shot. It's far too small to keep them all in here, so I'm going to have to do something. I did say, obviously, I was doing all that stuff in the fish room, but I've also said that I will have one tank bigger to house the bigger fish that I now keep, which is the Waru, probably the true parrots. So unless these two pair off, who knows, we'll see. I mean, if I just had them two, this tank would be fine, but I've grown these out, you know what I mean? And if you remember, I had 12, and, you know, I got a really good deal on them, and I've sold some since. I've pretty much got my money back, what I paid, and then I was left with these 4, so that, in theory, I got these for nothing. So I just thought, you know what, we'll see where we can get with these. There's loads of glare. See that then? I spooked him again. I need to give up with that. But this guy is stunning. I actually think that's a female. So hopefully this will be a male. Who knows? But anyway, guys, this video has gone on long enough, so we're going to wrap it up now. That is the full-on fish room tour for you. Hope you enjoyed it, and I know that that was a long video by what I'm used to putting out, but I just wanted to show you everything because there's a lot going on and there's more to come. There's absolutely more to come, and obviously the West African dwarf cichlids are exciting, and when that rat goes in, oh man, there's probably another few tanks that can go on there that we can do some real good stuff with dwarf cichlids in. Anyway guys, I just want to say a massive thank you as always. It means a lot to me. Your support is absolutely fantastic. And I will see you all on the next one.